Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're once again watching Astroteric TV. I'll be your one and only host, the Astro Guru. And today's video is about creating your own frequency. Yes, you heard that correctly. I did say creating your own frequency. Now, if you tuned into yesterday's episode, then you know I talked about becoming your own person. Creating your own frequency is after becoming your own person. As we all know, frequencies are number related, and they go from low to high. Frequencies are also measured in their own measurement, hertz. Now, from the time you become your own person to the time that you start creating your own frequency, you will always be resonating in an already preset frequency. So, no matter what it is that you're doing on this earth, pretty much, you will be doing it in a way that has already been done. You will be doing it in the way that was taught to you. And you may never get to create your own frequency simply because you may never become your own person first. Now, back to creating your own frequency. When creating your own frequency, there will be trials and tribulations, as with anything else. Now, the trials and tribulations with creating your frequency are different from becoming your own person. When becoming your own person, you will go through physical trials and tribulations, emotional trials and tribulations, things like that. When creating your own frequency, you have already passed those trials and tribulations. So, the new trial and tribulation with creating your own frequency shows, well, because you have an incredibly strong spirit, you've been able to make it to where you can create your own frequency. This is where your spirit is going to be not so much tested, but if you'd like to go further, then yes, you have to create your own frequency, which means you are going to be spiritually tested, but by yourself, not by anything else. In order to get to the point where you can create your own frequency, you have mastered the outside world. You don't care about rumors. You don't care about negativity. You don't care about things that you can't solve. You care about you, what you got going on, how many hearts and souls that you can change and touch for the better, things like that. So now, here you are creating your own frequency. Now, in order to create your own frequency, because there is nothing new under the sun, meaning you will be doing things that have already been done, but you will be doing them in ways they have never been done before. Thus, your frequency. Understood? I hope so. So, that's pretty much how you create your own frequency. Through trials and tribulation, you will test yourself from within, depending on what the area is that you're creating your own frequency in. So, in order for me to give you an example, you know I love the analogies. Let's use basketball. Basketball was already a sport. People had already dunked the ball. People had already shot the ball. People had already passed the ball. People had already laid the ball up. Here comes this guy from North Carolina with his own frequency. We call him the GOAT now. I believe his name is Michael Jordan. But yes, he comes and he totally changes how the game is played. What used to be defense, now it's not defense no more. We got to make that a little more intense. Why? Because the frequency of that man, that's actually where the word freak comes from. Oh, he's a freak of nature. Nobody registers on that frequency. Giannis, the Greek freak, yes, this Greek man's frequency is out of this world. The frequency of him, the strength, the speed, the durability. These things are they're out of this world. Simply that, making him a freak of nature, things like that. Okay, because obviously nature makes people every single day. It doesn't give us a Giannis every single day. It doesn't give us a Michael Jordan every single day. And if the universe does give us a Michael Jordan or a Giannis every single day, then guess what? Life either corrupts those people into believing they can't do it and they give up on themselves, or sometimes life takes a unexpected turn and you aren't able to showcase your abilities because you're somewhere where we can't see you, where you don't have the ability, or no one around you has the ability to say, all right, let me put this person in spotlight. Understood? So with that being said, creating your own frequency is something that people who are celebrities, I don't really want to put emphasis on the celebrities, but celebrities, a lot of them do have their own frequencies, because even if someone else is in a similar frame or a similar frequency, we don't all have the ability to tap into that person. So what makes a celebrity's frequency their own is because they actually have control of what would be an airwave, meaning the radio, meaning the television, like YouTube, things like that. So this is how people are become celebrated, which is where the word celebrity comes from, because you're celebrated in your entirety. Celebrity. Understood? I mean, the words are right there. They literally tell you. Speaking of words, rumor. There's room for more. You don't have all the information. That's why it's called a rumor. So I'm not going to keep doing this with y'all, though. I'm really not going to keep doing this with y'all. At this point, I've got to go back to creating my own frequency. I don't even speak the same anymore. Not that I can't. It's like I don't want to. Something's gotta change. Something's gotta kick. I need a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more spunk. I need to get back to my spectacular vernacular. Yeah, that's just simply what I need to do. Reading is good for that. Talking to myself on that one. This means I'm probably going to cut this off in a second and start reading something. Preferably educational. But however, creating your own frequency. A lot of us will never be able to create our own frequency because we will never be able to become our own person, because life's holding us back. For those that do have the spiritual strength, fortitude, and dexterity to break the chains and become their own person. Once you become your own person, of course, it's not all just unicorns and rainbows, but it's definitely a convoluted conundrum of things. But most importantly, you'll feel a sense of happiness, because whoever you are, when you become your own person, 9 times out of 10, you worked to become that person, and it's a person that you're happy with. So no matter what's said about that person outside of you, you really won't care. It's like, if you like me, that's cool. If you don't like me, that's cool too. Because I love me. Because I worked to become the person I am. I didn't just wake up this way one day and it was like, you don't like me? Well, maybe I should change. What should I change about myself? No, I literally worked to become this person that I am today. So if you don't like me today, oh, you probably like one of the versions of me that I used to be that I didn't like. And guess who? Guess who had to stay every night, every day, and like day in and day out with that person that I didn't like, that I was? Me. So if you like that person that much, you become that person. Because if you want me to be the person I used to be, that man ain't coming back. He's not coming back. He's dead. He's gone. He's null and void. He doesn't exist. He's been exiled. Nah. I didn't even like when I was that guy. But it was a phase that I needed to go through to find out more about who I actually am. Understood? Yeah.